ladies and gentlemen of the World Wide Web, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Ed320. So as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be taking a look today at model making, which is something that, well, I've literally never done before. Those of you who may or may not remember the long, old past days of my YouTube channel, way back in the summer of 2022, I took a trip up to Canada with some buddies that I had met. I recorded and vlogged the entire series. You can go find it on this channel. We went to a bunch of different tank museums and model shops and a whole bunch of places and just had this awesome trip. You should seriously go check out that series if you haven't already. It's amazing. Definitely one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. One of my Canadian buddies, Nomad Prod, aka Paul, fellow YouTuber, uploads sometimes. He's a really big model maker and wanted to use the chance to get me into model making, which is this part that if you're in the military vehicle enthusiast community, model making comes up. Whether you do it or someone you know does it or someone that you know who they know does it, it's going to be around, and there are always going to be people trying to tell you that you should get involved in it if you're not already. I was interested, but I always felt a little intimidated by the whole thing. You know, there's gluing and painting and cutting and a lot of steps, and it takes a long time, and it's scary for people who haven't really done anything like it before. And especially I was worried about, you know, messing something up and then the whole model is ruined. One small mistake and it's all trash. So at first, the way I made peace with it was I was going to start out with my Kobe Lego kit collection of tank models, and then once I felt that my Kobe collection was at a very, very respectable state and I felt like I didn't need to add any more to it, then I would move on to actual model making, as I called it. And well, my collection finally reached that point, and Paul was ready to help me make my first model kit ever. So what you're about to see is footage that I have gathered over the last 3 years. Yes, the thumbnail did not deceive you. This project was something that I picked up and put down for months at a time, to the point where, yeah, in total, it took me about 3 years to make this model kit. But honestly, they say taking your time with model making is rule number 1. And, well, I certainly did. And I think the results speak for themselves. Anyway, this video is just going to be part 1, which is going to focus on the actual build of the model, cutting things out of the sprue, gluing them together. The model that I had chosen for this endeavor, as found in my Canada vlog, was a Panzer III. I picked this kit because I didn't want to be a boring person and pick a Sherman or something that, like, I would have been expected to pick. Of course, people would assume you're gonna pick a Sherman. No, actually, I wanted to pick a Panzer III because, well, it's not something that I already have as a Kobe kit. And also, I mean, the Panzer III is pretty awesome, is it not? Also, I had some pretty specific plans for this model kit. Also, Paul, my modeling tutor, told me that this particular Tamiya Panzer III was a very, very good kit for beginners and that it would, quote, treat me very well. Paul was there to guide me pretty much every step of the way, and honestly, if you're watching this, Paul, you were a fantastic teacher. I'm gonna go more in depth into it as we go. You guys are going to hear his voice for the first half of this video because most of this video is going to be taken from the first little recording session I did that also became a live stream on his channel, where he was in a voice call with me on video as well, showing me and helping me through the process. Just fantastic. He was patient. He gave me really good advice. I'll go more in depth on it, but yeah, Paul has been a really, really good teacher. Without further ado, let's jump into my experiences, and I will continue to add post commentary as we go. So, this is Ed320's first ever tank model kit. Ooh, it's time, everybody! I'm so excited. These are the tools that I have, and then a bunch of...
A Shizel, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe. Young boy learns how to set up an X-Acto knife. So prior to actually building the model kit, Paul and I went back and forth in Discord over actually quite a few weeks, where he gave me basically a giant list of all the materials that I would need to purchase. So he asked me what kind of model I wanted to build. Did I want it to be realistic, historical? What color was it? What paint job was it gonna have? Did I want mud? Did I want weathering? Did I want extra decoratives and stowage items? Do you want this to be easy? Do you want this to be hard? And I told him what I envisioned, and he helped me pick out a list of materials that could get me there. Glue.
It's gluten-free.
Gluten-free. You're a funny little guy. The Panzer III. I guess I should start with the hull, probably, right?
You should probably start by reading the instructions. It's gonna tell you everything you need to know.
Tamiya tech tips.
Yeah,
Wow. Whoa, hold on a minute. Cartoon character from an Asian company that isn't like an anime character? That looks like just like
an anime character.
I could imagine seeing that little guy in like an American Scholastics newspaper, which by the way, this is also for the future because, you know, model making requires a very steady hand. This is like for reference how steady my hand is.
Jesus.
This is literally like I've had something to eat, I'm not hungry, it's not great. So then we want, gee whiz, okay.
Step one. Step one is on your.
I know.
I'm
not okay. There was a study done, right, between men and women when it comes to reading directions and following stuff, right? Men will just instantly look step one, and then they'll do step one, and then they look step two, and then they do step two. Women would take the directions and they spread them out and they read the full thing before they get to work. And they found that women made less mistakes because of that. That was a very long-winded way of saying I'm trying to look at the entire direction so I can see exactly what I'm doing before I just start blindly doing this. And yes, I'm a woman. Yes, I'm trying to say that I have a vagina. Sexism aside, I actually generally think this is just a really good idea. If you ever get a list of directions for anything, please just read all the directions first so you understand on a fundamental level the entire process and what it's going to look like at the end. And then go one at a time. Building furniture, building model kits, whatever you do. If you don't already do it, seriously make a habit of it. It will save you a lot of trouble and a lot of mistakes.
Each sprue has a letter with it.
And the sprues are labeled. That's very kind of them. I plan to potentially show this video to people who have never made a model before in their lives either. The directions have...
Yeah, let's say A12.
A12 is the suspension arms. Well, yeah. I know that that's the suspension, so I'll find the sprue with all the suspension pieces on it.
A1,
numbers
A22.
On them. Yeah, yep. 22, 9. They've got little
yeah, the letter
A
to signify. Yeah, it is sprue A.
A lot of A10,
just
11,
go
and
one
12,
at a time.
So...
Just take all the A10 and you build all the A10.
Put it in. Actually, I'm gonna do it like this because I'm.
Yeah. Just take concentrate. Like I know you want to record this, but it's still a $40 model. You want to do it right. Yep. Concentrate on your model.
This is a piece of advice that Paul will continuously stress as we go about building the model. Paul was really good about reminding me, the model comes first. Focus on the model, make a good model, take your time with it. You'll hear him continue to spout mantras like this as we go, and genuinely his consistent reminder of this seriously helped me out a lot to stay focused on the build rather than getting all caught up in all the other things that I was slightly worried about. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our first ever sprue piece cut out.
So you see there's extra plastic where you cut it.
Yes. Yeah.
Just try to shave it as much as possible first with your sprue cutter.
There we go.
Cut the excess. Okay,
That's
now there's going to be a bit of ugly plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the X-Acto knife, and try to scrape it gently. No, get your fingers like on the blade. Look how I am.
Okay.
It should cut right through. Or just if you're not sure, just sizzle. There you go.
Yeah.
That's perfect. There's gonna be a seam line. So you're gonna take your knife. There you go. You got it, Chief. And you remove the excess plastic. Now this is where you're gonna differentiate a good model from a bad one. And now you're gonna find out that making road wheels is just grinding. You just grind them.
Even someone like me can do it.
It's literally just a question of patience. You gotta be patient. Sort of 10 commandments of modeling. Rule number one. Just take your time, man. You're not in a hurry. It's a hobby. It's made for fun. It's gonna take the time it's gonna take, and you're gonna get a beautiful model if you take your time. If you go too fast, you're gonna fuck it up, and it's just not gonna be fun. Once again, Paul has dynamite advice here, and you can see what I'm doing. Every single piece that I cut out of the sprue on this model, you have to clean up, like you've been watching us do, clipping up little bits that come off with the piece and scraping off seams and imperfections in the mold, and this has to be done for every single piece. And now you repeat that for all road wheels. Well, for all suspension arms. And road wheels, and... for your entire model. There we go. Also, tell yourself one thing. Don't go too crazy. You know, like you have a plan for this build. Yeah. I'll let you explain it. I am turning this into a Panzer III from the hit anime series Girls in Panzer. That is my plan. It's going to be covered in mud. That's the main thing. A good modeler. This towards the piece. So this is where we start to really get into the tedium and repetition of model making. The idea that a lot of it is just such this exercise in discipline because you're doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. Every single time it's cut out this tiny little piece and then spend like
sometimes like 15 minutes cleaning it up to get it like properly looking good. And then you move on to the next piece, and you have to do this for every single piece on the entire model. Cut out, clean up before you can even fit. In this video, I want to show that because I want to communicate, especially to anyone out there who maybe is interested in getting into model making, this is what you got to do. And I think it's an important part of the process to show. So it's going to be all cut up, obviously, for ease of consumption. But yeah, I really want to show the nitty gritty of every single piece, what I do with it.
That must have felt good.
Man, taking like a nice good sip of Coca-Cola and then getting out a nice belch afterwards is very nice. Dude, the new video's doing great. 79 views in 3 hours. That's up there. That's a well-performing video, I think. This is the best of videos ever done in 3 hours and 20 minutes. That's cool.
So this is your first of the first time, like...
This is literally my first time ever modeling. I've literally never done this before. Cutting stuff out of a sprue, my first time ever gluing stuff like this, my first time sanding stuff. I am as virgin can be to model making. And then just stick them into their holes.
What? Hornet. You're officially banned from my stream.
You know, I'm just gonna cut all these out, and then I'm going to...
You'll see, when you get more experience, you can cut multiple at a time, and
We should start a podcast, though. We have such
Moss,
good
I swear to God.
I fix planes.
I'm
Professional stripper.
Also professional. He fixes planes while also being a professional stripper.
Hi, we are the IRS. You gotta pay tax. Okay, well, how much do I need? How much do I owe you? Oh, you gotta find out. Oh, well, do you know how much I owe you? Yeah. Why don't you tell me? Yeah. Because you gotta find out.
What happens if I get it wrong? You go to jail.
You're the first.
And he also gave me a new tank book. It's in the background now. I put it at the Tank Museum, Bobington. There you go. Actually, whoa, that's actually exactly the one that I'm trying to make too. Yeah. Like a desert tan. Pretty sick. It's a very cool book. It's very surface level. I've read a little bit of it. It's very surface level, but it is nice. Like it's cool to have. So it's gonna be up on my in my background now. It's gonna be like my new background thing. Shout out Ignatius, the guy who got it for me.
Oh, you're doing great. Oh, is your floor made out of carpet?
It is.
Oh boy, you have the carpet monster.
I mean, these pieces are tan, so they should stand out quite well.
Poor man. He doesn't know.
Wah.
A dubious little creature getting up to mischief. This is no good.
God, you fucking suck.
Number 7. Student watches porn and gets naked.
He's pulling his cock out! Wait, I just realized that my Spitfire cockpit is hollow.
I just realized that I painted my model the wrong color.
Realized that this is a Sherman. I was trying to do a Panzer IV.
You get halfway through the build and then you just sit back and you're like, oh, fuck. It's a Sherman!
Damn it!
Not again!
This is totally bogus.
Yeah, I think I'm noticing what you mean, Nomad, with like, don't get the glue on your fingers and then touch the model, because I think...
Yep. There's a mark.
Yeah, there's
you'll cover it.
Yeah, it's like it's a bit sticky right here. Like I can feel.
Don't touch it. Don't touch if it's sticky.
Okay. Top 10 things model makers should never do. Just watch this whole video.
Beyond that, eventually I just.
All right, guys. I think I'm done. That's the model. That's looks like a Panzer III to me. Everyone, take a little fry break.
You eat fucking cold. Yeah, that's right. You eat cold fucking burgers. Like you stuff your fucking burgers in your pocket to eat later. You're a fucking criminal.
I only did that once. A12. Now we need, it looks like A19 looks like the next bit.
Ate these nuts. God, I'm so clever.
There's so, these parts are so small. You can see there's that hole and then there's that peg right there. Well, this piece has, you can see that's a peg that sticks out and then a hole that's right in there.
There you go, that's good. There you go. And then you can take the glue.
Okay.
Yeah, is it straight? Yeah.
You guys want to see capillary reaction? Watch this, guys.
No, you got too much glue. You already have enough glue.
Okay, don't watch that. Did he drink the glue yet? Gotta warm it up. Yeah, I gotta put the glue in the microwave before I before I eat it.
What happens.
The glue, it's ready.
My glue is ready. Okay, guys, so there's a little annoying little peg on this piece here, so we're gonna go ahead and cut that off. No, I'm just kidding.
I beg your pardon?
So now we're gonna do the same thing to the back here. So we did that on the front, now we're gonna do the same thing on the back.
When are we gonna tell the audience that this isn't actually error at all? It's a model. It's a different person.
Etta could never actually figure out how to make models. Look at my steady hand, guys. Look at how steady that is. So we're gonna go ahead and use that to place this into its slot. Ooh, that actually worked.
We're gonna see capillary reaction.
Did it work?
Did it work?
I don't know.
Let it dry if it comes out.
I did one more dop. I wasn't supposed to. Now, actually, I'm not gonna lie. It actually did sort of annoy me. I did see little bits of the sprue that I didn't remove again. Like, I really want to get rid of that.
It's too late.
I know. Now I see why that kind of shit really bothers model makers. Because, like, yeah, like, you know that it's there.
Like, nobody knows it's there.
Yeah,
but
no one's
you
gonna
do.
know it. Yeah, man. I actually get that now. That's so funny. They're staggered. Look, if I drew like a straight line. Yeah, they're staggered.
You know why?
Torsion bars. It goes all the way through the hull. Yeah, that's right. Of course, it's torsion bar suspension. That's actually so fun. All right, so A10, A19, A12, and A11s are all done. So now
you can even take a pencil and just, if you really need to, cross.
I was literally just thinking about that. Yes, I would like to do that.
So let's say you want XF1 there. You.
Right. So I've crossed all these ones out now, chat, so that I'll remember and I know which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. So this tiny peg, like on here, you can just barely see it. That has to stay. But these like bits, obviously from the sprue, need to go. Oop, I almost cut off the wrong thing.
So something that I kind of figured was going to be a really good idea going through all this was dry fitting. I don't specifically recall Paul giving me this advice, but I just figured it was nice to dry fit everything before I glued it on. Similar to my methodology of reading through the entire instructions before you actually do any of them, the idea of basically putting the model together dry with no glue just to see how things fit and see where everything's supposed to go and what it's supposed to look like, and then you can add the glue and actually put it in place. Pretty much every single component that I cut out of the sprue and then clean up, I dry fit first. I'm actually really good about this because I'm really scared of gluing something down wrong and messing it up.
Guzzling cum all over my hands.
I don't like how big of a seam I have on that.
It's gonna be mostly hidden by the drive sprocket.
Jenny.
I'm gonna come, Jenny.
Jenny.
Will you marry me, Forrest, now that I'm a single mother?
Jenny, I was told I can't get within 30 feet of no child, Jenny.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's got little rivets and stuff in it for detail, and I thought they were bits that like I cut too deep into it and fucked up the yeah.
Fuck something up. It's called battle damage.
Yeah, every mistake is
a feature.
Yep.
I remember these being a little bit tricky to put on, so dry fit first.
It's got two little pegs, and again we've got two little holes, so we want to align this up like that quite nicely so it sort of fits.
God, you're so clever.
Okay, honestly I think that was too much glue, but that's okay. In there. Bop. Bop.
No, don't do that. Yeah, because if you do this, you may leave a mark inside of the plastic. Like I told you, it melts the plastic down.
Okay. And we are done, friends, with step 1. Congratulations. I've only been recording for like what? 2 hours, and we're done with step 1. Sick. I've got a lot of things. There are definitely wheels. They're return rollers. I feel like all of this is so fragile. I'm like scared. Lego, like interested in business stuff like Pete.
Still a big one.
That's really smooth. That
the more grain, the more smooth. If you get my drift. Rest. I don't want to whip out the herb.
I can totally understand how you would just put on some music and just do this.
Bro.
Like just disappear for like an hour. But, well, okay, no, for like 4 hours.
More, way more.
These little doors, and they're nice and clean now. Well, actually, I was about to say.
No,
I can see
the
that.
bottom part. Yeah, the bottom part needs a little
You're
bit.
right. Yeah, there we go. Now that's going.
Oh my God, I just came.
There's very. Oh my God, can you even see that on camera?
Yeah.
There's just barely indication lines for where the doors should go. There's some right there.
That's to me engineering.
Here too, you can just barely see right there.
You put it on.
Okay.
Capillary reaction. You've got a good technique right there. Or you can just move it with your tweezers if you prefer.
I was about to say that's. I think.
I'm just giving you my tips.
Yeah.
After that, it's your model.
Right there. That's perfect. Oh shit.
Put it back. It's fine.
I think that's good. I think that's it. I think that's gonna have to be good enough. I think for now. He is speaking so much French right now. pushed up a little bit? It is. It's not like flat. But the glue should take care of that, right?
Boy, no, that's not. No, stop. Take the piece off and look behind it. Is there? Yeah, these are ejection marks. Is there something that could create a bump?
Yes, there is.
Right, shave it off.
Wow, yeah, good catch. Holy shit, you gotta get like, man, you gotta get into the micro details here.
We're gonna do it like, you see now it's much better.
Yeah, and it lays flat. Oh wow, yeah, capillary action, man, it really goes. That's an amazingly clean cut. Barely any marks. Good job, Edda. Thank you, Edda.
Your name is Reed.
Okay, and then this, I cut this out just like I would anything else, right? So that fits in there nicely. It's got two little pegs on it, on there. And those pegs, I assume, obviously, will line up with that and go there.
And you see that big gap you were worried about?
Yeah.
Barely gonna be visible.
Stop like making that in there.
Will I love myself the place?
That was a lot. That's a decent amount of glue, but I think it's what we needed. These panels are still on here, nice. I guess we'll just move like front to back. So now that we've done the final drives at the front, let's just take the next thing over, which is this piece of A15 and A16.
Fuck!
Honestly, I'm not going to show this part because it's just taking details off. You guys have seen it. As has been the theme so far, you've got a hole, or a peg and a hole, and then on the back of this, there's a hole and a peg. The suspension arms also have the little holes right here. There's a little peg right here at the tip. Shit. Oh, that's in. The big one is in. Shit. Am I doing this the right way? Oh, the pegs. Oh my, geez, man, you really got to pay attention. The pegs on them are in two ever so slightly different places. You see that? Wow, yeah, that's so freaking silly. That top bit is angled ever so slightly towards the rear of the tank, so it has to be, they do have to be mirrored. Don't mind the ambulances, or fire trucks, I think those are. So we're gonna cut out, we're just gonna be like slopping off little pieces of this, I think. It's a nice little like disrupted, it looks like somebody's been chewing on it, you know?
So you're creating battle damage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little bit too much.
I don't care.
Fuck face, I don't care.
Straight up, this is my model, and I do what I think looks good.
Alright, I might end stream soon because I've got stuff I've been pushing back.
Yeah, I think for the build, I think you've taught me at the very least the basics of building, which is just the cutting it out of the sprue, getting all the nubbins off of it, and then gluing it down, and I feel confident. Bye-bye. Have fun. No! I dropped that shit in the fucking trash can, bro. So from this point on, without Paul or Felix around to provide commentary and fill space and for anyone to talk to, I figured I was just gonna get onto this part by myself with basically no worry about commentating or really too much worry about the video. Like again, this was a part where I really decided I wanted to just focus on the model. So I stopped recording audio here. So we're just gonna have some music and I'm gonna jump in every now and then to sort of explain some of what I'm doing. Despite what I was saying earlier about my steady hand not being very good, I surprised myself multiple times, especially with these much smaller pieces that you have to be very careful getting everything in properly and then gluing it down and not letting it fall out or fall off. Surprisingly, I did well with that stuff. And here you can even see, even when you glue the part on, it doesn't necessarily mean you're done cleaning it up. You still may very well notice some imperfections when you take this wider look at the model and have to go back in with your X-Acto knife and clean stuff up even more. Definitely note, and like I want it to be stressed, the way I edit this, the way I've cut this all together is it's all happening quite fast and you're seeing, you know, 1 second, 2 seconds of me shaving stuff off with the X-Acto knife or me applying glue or doing whatever. And note, like,
understand that, especially with the whole shaving with the X-Acto knife and the sanding down with the nail file, that is taking me like 5 to 10 minutes each every single time. But you guys only see like a second of it. Here, getting with the road wheels, I kind of showed it a little bit with my plans for the return rollers, but I had seen this on a lot of different model making videos, and especially people like Night Shift and whatnot, where they purposefully use their X-Acto knife and they cut chunks out of the road wheels to make them look like they have proper wear and usage. And Nomad was very good at the beginning of this whole process of telling me, first things first, you are not Night Shift, and don't try to be Night Shift. And I try my best to stay within my limits, but this was something that I figured was just easy. So I figured this was one of those quick and small but easy ways to get a little extra detail out of my model. And that's kind of my mantra of this model is I'm not going to try to go super crazy above and beyond and do stuff that I don't feel comfortable doing, but like wherever I can, if I can find these small clever little ways to just add that little bit of extra detail, hopefully it'll all add up and it'll look good on the model. Yeah, definitely the road wheels was very, very, very tedious because you have 6 road wheels on each side, but they're all pairs. So you have to do each road wheel on each pair on each torsion bar. It adds up very quickly. And we have now officially jumped into day 2 of the model making process. As you can see, I did cut my finger and had to work on the rest of this with a band-aid, but I think I made it work. Here we're cutting out the hull and cleaning it up, basically. This was a big step because a lot of model making is all about like the small steps, and you spend an entire day working on something really, really small, and you just have to isolate yourself and say, look, I'm not trying to build the whole model today, I'm just trying to do the road wheels, or I'm just trying to do this small bit. You pick a very small goal and you set that, and then when you're done with it, you pick another one. It's like this, where it's like, oh whoa, like I'm actually assembling the upper hull. Like this is a big moment, and it felt very good, and where like you actually feel like you are making progress. Just showing there how small the pieces can get that you have to cut out for the sprue. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're trying to cut it out of the sprue, like where the part begins and where the thingy that holds the part on ends. Like there was multiple times I'd look at the sprue and I'd be like, holy crap, that's like actually a part. That's actually a piece of the model that I'm supposed to cut out and put on somewhere. Like it's not just some random piece of plastic in the molding. These little bits on the model I was not expecting to see, but they were there, where they're the little holes where all of the tools and things that are supposed to slip into, on the fenders. I actually had to like cut those holes out myself. Not something I was expecting, and when I first made the decision to do it, I thought I was doing something wrong, but no, this was correct. You're supposed to drill that stuff out. It really is cool because the model comes together. It's like death by 1,000 cuts, but I guess progress by 1,000 tiny steps, where yeah, you focus and you say, all right, for the next half hour we're just gonna focus on the engine deck and cutting these things out, cleaning everything up, gluing it in place, making sure it's good. It took you half an hour, but it's a small thing that you've added. But then you go into another half hour on the fenders, and then you do another half hour on the front of the hull, and then you do another half hour on the sides of the hull, and then suddenly 3-4 hours later, you take a step back and look at everything and realize, hey, wow, like I've actually just built a ton of this model. Like a lot of it has come together. It's a lot of just that patience and discipline of setting a small goal, working towards a small goal, and then they continuously add up. And by the end of a day, by the end of a session, you can sit back and say, hey, I've made a lot of progress, actually. And that was something that I actually found very, like, therapeutic about the whole process. Now, starting with the turret. This was, again, just like getting the upper hull. The turret was a massive feeling of making progress. And this, I distinctly remember a lot of these pieces had a lot of stuff to clean up and took me a while to get right. Especially because this Panzer III model actually has a small interior in the sense that the gun breech is there, and the basket for catching the shells is there, and the commander's seat is modeled very, very basically. So this was a part where I had to pay just as much attention as I did everywhere else, because this was all going to be seen. This gun breech and all these internal components were going to be visible with the way I wanted to build this model. Once again, my sort of obsession with dry fitting everything before I go any further. I got all of the individual components assembled and then wanted to do one massive dry fit of basically the entire gun system plus mantlet, because I wanted to understand what it was all going to look like and how it was all going to go together, and what parts needed to rotate on and off each other, and what parts I should glue down and what parts I shouldn't. This was really, really important for me, and I kept messing stuff up. Like this was actually a real pain to get everything to fit together in a dry fit. You can see like I'm struggling, stuff kept falling, but I eventually managed to get it. The big dry fit of the gun mantlet system. Now, one of the cool things with this model having an interior and everything was I wanted to take advantage of that, and I wanted to have this model kind of posed to where you could see the interior. But I also wanted to get a little bit of every possible pose from every possible angle. So I wanted to have one side of the turret have the doors closed. So if you wanted to see kind of what the tank looks like with the closed side doors, you could. And then the other side have them open, so you can see that, and also see in through the door, the gun breech and everything like that. And then when I put the cupola on and I do the cupola hatches, I also leave those open so you can see the gun breech and everything down from up above, just to provide sort of a different viewing angle. I could have very easily just gone with all hatches open, but I wanted at least one of those side hatches to be closed, just to show what it looked like. I do not end up fully assembling the turret, but I get it pretty much all the way there. And so that is basically my entire process of building. I got the hull ready, a lower hull, upper hull, glued together, all of its little bits. The turret is basically done. All I have to do now is just glue the mantlet and mantlet cover onto the front of the turret. But first, I wanted to paint the thing, because with this tank having an interior, I wanted to get that white coat of paint on the interior of the turret, and I felt that having the turret fully put together would make that a little bit harder. So the next step immediately after what you saw here today was painting, and I wanted to save that for the next episode. So this was episode 1, the actual build. Episode 2 will be painting, and episode 3 will be all the stowages and weathering and detail work that goes into this model. And hopefully that should be it. I'm kind of doing this as I go, but hopefully it should be a 3-part thing. But hopefully this video was interesting and fun to watch. If you are new to model making, hopefully this kind of helped you see some of what I had to go through on my first time and some of the lessons that I learned. And I hope to keep up this sort of format with the next 2 parts. So I'm not going to take up too much more. Hopefully this was a good video for you to have on in the background or while you fell asleep or something like that. Let me know if you guys want to see part 2 and 3. I mean, I'm sure you do, but just let me know. Engage in the comments. It helps with the algorithm. Do all that fun YouTube stuff. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Join the Patreon if you haven't already. You get early access to videos. You get extended cuts of videos, and you get sometimes you get some stuff that like I don't think is worth uploading to the main channel. I've actually started to upload some unique stuff unique to the Patreon. Otherwise, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. My name is Ed320. This has been the build of my first ever model kit that took me over 3 years to make. Stay tuned for part 2 and part 3 where we get to see this whole thing really come together. Thanks guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next Ed320 video on this Ed320 channel. Bye bye. Adios. Goodbye. I cannot do outros. What is wrong with me?